Hey guys, welcome back to Bariatric Confessions podcast with your girl, Zipporah. So, today, let's talk about grieving your old self. Okay, so I responded to a TikTok from one of my friends, and she said, if you lost over like 100 pounds, do you grieve the person you were? And I said, no, absolutely not. Um, I, I don't know if I even like intentionally think about her, even though she was just who I was like 14 months ago. I don't miss her because I was uncomfortable. I was truly uncomfortable. But I didn't know I was uncomfortable until I became comfortable. Like that's the thing. I wasn't aware of the level of like uncomfortableness and sadness and like internal sadness, um, and all the other mental struggles that I was dealing with. But no, I don't miss her. I wish her the best, and I hope to never see her again. And that's for real. My plan is to never see her again. I can see her in pictures. When I go through my videos and my pictures on my phone, it's okay if I look at her. And basically, I'm looking at her because I repost, I share my journey. So I look for pictures to share my journey. But even going back to when my husband and I got married 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago, and he was re-editing our pictures from the photographer. He was not our photographer for our wedding. We had somebody else. This was before he was really into photography. And he re edited this one picture that I absolutely loved of him and I sitting on a bench outside of the venue where we had our reception. And it was at the end of our wedding reception, and we were sitting waiting for his cousin to bring around a car so he can take us to our new apartment together. And we were just so exhausted, and we're sitting there on a bench, and I just absolutely love this picture. Somebody captured it, I think even from like a cell phone, and I absolutely loved that picture for years. And he re-edited it, and I said, man, I have no neck. He had no neck. And obviously we were 15 years younger, but I think I was around like 280. I think he was in his threes, 320 or something like that. And we were massive. We were happy massive, because we just got married, but we were massive. And I'm like, man, we need to get married, remarried, just so we can have skinny-ish wedding pictures. And I said, you know what, bunk the marriage. We don't need to do remarriage. I just want to do a wedding photo shoot with him and I, just so we can have like pictures of us of how we look now. But like even looking back at pictures, it's just like I don't miss her. I don't miss her because she was uncomfortable and she was insecure, and she always sought approval from other people just because she couldn't get the approval from herself. Like or from when I used to date before, way before I got married, seeking approval or attention from other people instead of, or other, the people who I was dating, instead of from myself. Like I didn't hold myself in a high regard. I didn't think of myself as a queen or whatever the trending terms are, but I didn't think of myself in high regard for whatever reason. I didn't feel like I deserved to be treated in a certain way. So like, no, I don't miss her. I don't miss her because she was sad and she didn't know she was sad, you know? And she tried to control, like, she tried to control everything. She tried to control everything because, like, maybe that's because she couldn't control her eating or she couldn't control her weight. So she tried to control everything else because she couldn't control the thing that needed to be controlled. She tried to, it was almost like self-sabotage. Like I don't miss her. I don't miss her, and I hope she never comes back. Because on this journey, I learned to appreciate. I'm learning to appreciate myself even more. And it's not weight loss surgery. It's not about losing the weight. Like that's not the number one. The number one is most people have it for health reasons, okay? And number two, it's about that mental journey that you have to go on in order to keep the weight off, and rediscovering and relearning yourself and accepting yourself for who you are, whether it's ugly, like whether it's the good part of you or the bad part of you, just accepting yourself for who you are, and then making a decision to change that part that you might not like, or doing the work to accept that part of you. And learning from me that you cannot control everything. You cannot control everything. There's no way you can map out as much as possible of whatever the situation is, but at the end of the day, the situation is going to turn out the way it's going to turn out. So you have to learn to let go. So if you're not so controlling with whatever that thing is, if you're not controlling in all of these areas, you can now shift that focus into controlling how you eat, what you eat, and paying attention to what you put in your mouth. Good stuff versus the bad stuff most of the time, you know? So, do you miss the person that you was before you lost all the weight? If you lost over 100 pounds? And my answer is absolutely not.